Right, here's an update on the ESA assessment process that I'm going through at the moment. Um, I made the phone calls that I needed to. I contacted my GP to see if they'd actually sent the form that they held for much longer than they should have before actioning anything, and actually needing prompting by the support worker that I've been assigned for a very short period. Um, but it did go um, last Friday. It should have gone a lot sooner. I don't think they see anything but a piece of paper rather than actually taking in the gravity of the situation, that this is someone's life that they're holding in their hands. Um, because this is my main source of income. I don't want it to be. I don't want to be on benefits, but this is my main source of income at the moment, and I need it to survive. Anyway, it went last Friday. I then phoned the Health Assessment Advisory Service, and they confirmed that it arrived yesterday. So it must have arrived after I filmed the video yesterday. I then proactively contacted the other number for the Health Assessment Advisory Service to make sure that the session was recorded, the assessment was recorded, assuming I have to go, because there is a possibility that it might get cancelled because they will have enough evidence on paper that will not require me seeing anybody face to face. So I contacted them, and it was a very nice lady, handled the call, and she actually phoned the assessment centre in Westcliff-on-Sea, and to confirm that they could record it, because sometimes there are specific appointment times that can be recorded and others that can't. I don't know why. Maybe they've only got one room that's set up to do it or whatever. And she said it may mean that you have to change the date of the assessment. And I said, well, I can't. I've got someone coming with me who's taken the day off work and everything. But it turns out, luckily, that I may have to wait for a few minutes past my actual appointment time at 10 o'clock in the morning, but I can have it recorded. It just there's just some preparations that need to be made. Now, the one question I didn't ask, because although because I'm so stressed at the moment, and because I'm actually in the middle of an extended mid-year crisis. I have two crises, one in the middle of the year and one at the end of the year, and it has been extended because of this process that I'm going through, and the stress, and it muddles my thoughts, and I can lose. Well, as you can see, I sometimes go word blind, where I do not, I cannot think of the next word that I need to say, or I get confused. Don't equate that with being stupid. So I ask some specific questions, and I suggest that anybody who has one of these assessments asks these questions. The first question was, what company is doing the assessment? And for the PIP assessment that I had last year, it was Atos. This one is Maximus. This worries me a great deal because an acquaintance of mine who I tried to help through her assessment process got 0 points on physical and mental health problems and got her ESA cut straight away. So I am not the best, in the best frame of mind knowing it's Maximus. I wouldn't have been any better, I suppose, if it was Atos or Capita or whoever else does these things. But knowing at least one person who has been turned down completely by Maximus really worries me now. But I asked, and I'm just picking up another piece of paper here. I asked, my condition is of a certain type. So could you tell me what the health professional is going to be? What profession of the health professional? And the lady told me, the nice lady told me that I'm seeing a healthcare professional who is a physiotherapist. Now, as I said, I may go word blind at times. I may lose track of where I am in a conversation during that conversation, but I'm not stupid. So I said, how is a physiotherapist, seen as the reason I'm on benefits is a mental health problem, how is a physiotherapist qualified to make that determination, to do an assessment on mental health grounds? It's completely different realms of health. And I said that the last person I had talking about my PIP assessment, it was a paramedic, and she said that she had 7 days worth of training on mental health. Not enough, but I managed to get through the assessment. So, but that's beside the point. This is a physiotherapist. I asked the question, how much training has the physiotherapist had? Is it just the 7 days that the paramedic had who did my last assessment? Or, what qualifies this person? And she said, well, I'm sorry, I don't know. Can I put you through to my manager? And like I said, she was a very nice lady. And she even said that if I haven't had a letter as to whether I have to go to the face-to-face assessment, she's told me to give them a call, just in case the letter doesn't get to me and it does get cancelled. It will save me the trip there. So she was very nice, but she couldn't answer the question, so she handed me off to her manager. And I again said, or asked the question, I am being given a physiotherapist as an assessor. How much training have they had? And she couldn't give me an answer. I wish I'd done the same as I did with the Atos phone call, because then you would have heard this with her own voice. She couldn't tell me how much training, and I said, well, she kept on saying, oh, they're fully trained. I said, but if they're fully trained, you should know how much training they've had. And she couldn't give an answer. And the thing she said, and it's not exact because I wrote it down a couple of minutes after she said it, because I didn't have a pen at the time. And quite frankly, I was flabbergasted that she said it. So this is not verbatim. But the gist of what she said was, we've looked at the condition that you suffer from and have deemed the physiotherapist assessor to be acceptable to run your mental health assessment. And yet she still can't tell me how much training this person has. And the thing that flabbergasted me the most was she kept on saying, oh, they're all fully trained, all fully trained, all fully trained. And I said, but yeah, you know, mental health is a wide-ranging thing, a wide-ranging category of health. And really, the only way you can be trained, properly trained, in mental health is to work in the mental health service. Psychiatrist, psychiatric nurse, stuff like that. Psychotherapist. And the gist of what she said was, basically, they have enough training to apply benefits regulations to the mental health problem, which is not the same as being qualified to actually assess someone's mental ill health. What it is they are training people very narrowly, and there has to be some flexibility in the system, because mental health is not like a physical health problem. As I said to them on the phone, when I went for DLA years ago, towards the beginning of the coalition government, my mental health was the reason I was trying to claim the benefit, but they only looked at my physical health. When I was at my PIP assessment, they were putting me through physical jerks which had nothing to do with my mental ill health, because although I have some physical limitations and I am in pain, that is not the reason I'm on the benefit. The reason I'm on the benefit is the mental health problem. So putting me through physical jerks does not mean I'm fit for work. It means I may be physically able to do stuff. It doesn't mean to say that mentally I am in a condition that I could go out and work. So so they were again prioritizing the physical health problem, a physical health criteria over the mental health. And the same thing happened at my acquaintance's ESA assessment. Although she did have physical and mental health problems, the reason she was on the benefit was the mental health, but they were assessing her mostly on the physical health and ignoring the visible cues of the mental health problem, the affect of how she was in the assessment and stuff like that. And this is, you know, there is no justification for saying that someone is fully trained when they obviously are not. And they're obviously still looking at physical health because it's something that can be objectively measured. Where mental health, there is more subjectivity to it. There are some objective tests, but certain things are, you know, subjective. And this really worries me. But I think people should ask these questions. If you get one of these letters, saying you've got to go to an assessment, ask who's doing the assessment. Ask how much training they've got, especially if it's mental health. The reason you're going to an assessment is because of your mental health. Find out whether you're actually going to get someone who's actually professional. And in fact, when she was listing the people they have working for them, she said doctors, nurses, physiotherapists. She didn't mention paramedics, but I will include paramedics in that because my PIP assessment was with a paramedic. Nowhere does it say psychiatrist, psychiatric nurse, or psychotherapist. Now, labelling doctor and nurse does not mean to say that they are going to have any psychiatric training whatsoever. And this worries me. This worries me for people who are in a worse position than me. I mean, I'm quite resilient, and these assessments turn me into a bag of nerves. And it's worrying that the assessment could be run by someone who has absolutely no real training in psychiatric matters. She has given me an email address to contact to find out more about the training that they are given. But it seems to me all they're doing is given very narrow training regarding mental health and as it applies to the assessment criteria, rather than having a broader knowledge of psychiatric matters. So I've tried to get hold of my support worker. Sorry, went word blind for a second. Unfortunately, he's not in today. He's not on duty. I don't know whether that means he was just, this is one of his days off, or whether he has gone on paternity leave. But I did leave a message for him yesterday and he didn't get back to me. So I'm a bit worried about that, but I'm trying to deal with the psychiatrist's secretary, if I can get through to her, to try and get a letter to back up my wish for a home assessment, if I can possibly have one. So everything at the moment is as handled as it can possibly be. But like I said, some of the answers to the questions I am getting are not giving me the best impression of my chances. That doesn't mean to say I will not fly through it, but there's the worry. And I will end off with this. As I've said before, I think I have anyway. In 2014, the DWP made a mistake that cost me at least 7 to 9 months worth of ESA. Ever since then, I have been scared every single day that I'm going to get a letter saying that they're going to stop my benefit, and it will be another mistake on their part. So how am I supposed to get ready to get back to the workplace, if I could even find someone who would take me on, seeing as I have a mental health problem? How am I supposed to live my life with this sword of Damocles over my head? Because I think I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again. When you're on health-related benefits or disability benefits, your life is not controlled by you. It's controlled by the DWP and the assessment people. And they can take away your money like that. And that's not a way that anyone should have to live. Thanks for listening. I hope you do share this video.